Hi, hey, it's Sexy J. Quick and dirty time today is going to be really, really quick and dirty. It's going to, well, it's not going to be extra dirty, but it's going to be really quick. So this is, again, grammar on the new digital SAT. This is not really a new question, but why am I going over it? Because you guys wanted me to, right? And it's also a pretty good indicator of the new test because, as I told you guys before, in terms of the grammar, they're very much more simplified. Much more simplified than the traditional paper SAT. So this is a very common type of question already on the test, and it has a very simple structure. So going forward on the digital SAT, it's going to be even more common. They're not really testing you anymore on the more difficult concepts. So what is today's concept? Subject-Verb agreement. You guys say, oh, I know how to do that. It comes up a lot on regular SAT. So what am I going to give you guys that's a little bit extra? Well, how to do it quickly, right? I said that before. Okay, so subject-verb agreement. So the answer to this thing is going to be, well, I'm not going to tell you the answer yet. We'll get there. Okay. So as always, what's the first step, guys? Yeah, you skip the text, right? And you go to the question. You're like, yeah, you told me that last video. I know, Jay. Good. Okay. And the reason I remind you each time, guys, is like, number one, maybe it's your first time watching the video. Number two, in my group classes, it took 7 weeks. 7 weeks for the students to actually listen to me and start reading the blurb. I told them, Kevin, did you read the blurb? Sorry, Kevin, I'm calling you out. Kevin, did you read the blurb? He always said no until week 7. And you know what Kevin said on week 7? Oh my God, Jay, I read the blurb. It really has everything. It's so helpful. Why didn't you do that in weeks 1 through 6? I don't know. Okay? Kevin and I are pretty cool, though. I was going to say, I love you, Kevin. I don't love you, but like, you're pretty cool. Okay. Anyway, I don't think he watches my videos. So, as I was saying, I'm going to keep saying this, guys, okay? Because you really need to. Skip the text, right? Go to the question. So you can see what kind of question it is. And then you'll be like, oh, yeah, this is what Jay told me. Some of my students go like, oh, yeah, this is what Sexy Jay told me. When you think about me in your head, you can just call me Jay, okay? It's a little bit of pressure to call me Sexy Jay all the time. Although I guess that's better for branding, so maybe. Okay, so this one, the convention standard English, that broadly lets you know that this is grammar, but provides, are providing, have provided, provide, all of these things differ in terms of, well, not all of them. So this is singular versus plural. They do differ in tense, but you see here that A is singular, and B is plural, and C is plural, and D is plural. So I'll just write P. Okay. So from here, seasoned viewers of Sexy J channel will probably be able to guess what the answer is from here right away. Very similar content as last time. Okay. So let's actually go to the text, and let's write here. As before, for most of the grammar-focused questions, the text itself doesn't matter. And as I say every time, it kind of pains me to cross all this out because I have to write it, but it's okay. Just focus on the last sentence here, literally the last sentence. The practice of giving the less skilled player additional pieces, blanket advantage that can be calibrated by the players. Okay, I don't need to know what that means. So this is the verb. Where is the subject? Okay, this is the number one place you should look, guys. You should look as far away from the verb as possible. Okay, that means at the very beginning of the sentence, the practice. So the practice, that's the subject, practice. There's a reason I'm writing it in like this, okay? So the subject of practice is singular. Practice is singular. But you see over here, we have the word pieces right next to the verb, which sounds plural. I mean, it is plural. This is probably the most repeated common trick thing on the entire SAT. In terms of this very, very, on every single test and on multiple questions. On a singular subject-verb agreement thing, they will put in a plural-sounding thing right next to the verb, but the subject is actually far away in singular. Or the other way around. They do this all the time, guys. Super common trick. Don't fall for it, okay? So the practice is singular, so I would just go, okay, practice it. So it would be, it provides. That's it. That's the answer. Okay? So that's the actual grammatical way of doing it. Is there a quicker way of doing it? Of course there is, guys. So what I notice here, that B, C, D are plural and A is singular. The answer is A, singular. Okay? Just like in my last video, right? If I have one answer choice that sticks out from the other ones, like that's the answer. Because B, C, and D, they're all plural. So if B's right, then C's right, then D's right. Can they all be right? No, they can't. You can't have multiple correct answers on the SAT. And lastly, B, C, and D, this is, I'm just also going through what kind of problems do students have with this, because it's a pretty simple concept. Well, so what trips people up? They also ask, Jay, couldn't this be like a tense question? So couldn't there be a difference between are providing and have provided and provide, the present tense? Sure. Does the SAT do that? Not really, okay? They are much more like 99.99 whatever percent more likely to ask you the singular plural subject-verb agreement than they are to ask about tenses. I will make, now that I brought it up, on a video dedicated to tenses and be like, these are the specific and limited ways they test the tenses, but overall, it's not going to be the tense, it's going to be the subject-verb agreement, okay? So the actual strategy here is very simple. You either notice that the one answer is singular, the rest are a plural, so the singular one's the answer, or you actually look at the text and go, oh, the beginning of the sentence has a subject. That's the verb, so it should be singular. And that's pretty much it. And make sure to just focus on the question type and to ignore the rest of the text. That doesn't matter. That's it for today's quick and dirty, guys. So the actual strategy is pretty quick, right? That is probably one of the quickest ones we have. And let me know in the comments, especially if it's grammar related as well, because I did the reading first because honestly, there's nobody better at reading than I am, probably, in the world. If you guys find the guy, let me know. I would like to collab with him, learn from him. It's always nice to learn. But in the grammar, I haven't been doing that because there are a lot of good grammar resources out there. But if you guys want me to do it, I'll do it. So, leave comments, all of that. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Study every day with who? Sexy J. Bye-bye.